Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about Azure DevOps. So in recent days, most of the organizations like to use Azure DevOps. So what is the reason? So the reason behind it is the Azure DevOps is the collection of multiple tools. So Azure DevOps can be integrated with the source code management tools like GitHub, EFS, and also the Azure DevOps supports the continuous integration, continuous deployment. Apart from these, Azure DevOps can also be used as a test management tool. Okay, so in this video, we are gonna learn about the test management tool of an Azure DevOps. Okay, I'm gonna show you. This is not a theoretical session, but this is a practical session where I'm gonna explain you entire test management cycle with the examples. Okay, so let's start our practical session here. Okay, so first, whenever organization gets the license for Azure DevOps, first organization needs to create their new organization, right? So let me first create a new organization here. Click on new organization. As soon as you click on new organization, you need to accept the terms of service, privacy statement, and code of conduct. Click on continue. So once you click on continue, you need to provide your organization name. Okay. So for now, I'm gonna keep my organization name as default name, whatever it is suggested. Okay. And also you need to select the host of your project that needs to be hosted. Okay. I'm selecting it as Central US and click on continue. So as soon as you click on continue, your organization will be created. So give us a couple of seconds. So now your organization is created. The organization called 758. Okay, 758. Now within your organization, you have to create your project, right? So let's assume we are actually working on an e-commerce project. Okay, I'm just creating a project called e-commerce, and then I'm selecting the mode, basically visibility mode as a private, because I want to give access to only people who works on this particular project. Okay, click on create project. So as soon as you click on create project, so your project has been created. Okay, this is your project, and then there is a setting symbol. So once you click on setting symbol, you can see lot of options under project settings. Okay, let me go over a couple of options which are very important for us. Okay, this is your overview of the project, where here you can rename your project, okay, if you want, and then provide your project description high level. Okay, and here this is your process that you want to follow. Okay, process means basically whenever you create a project, by default it selects process as a basic process, but there are different processes that are available. Basically you can either select Scrum process, or if you want to use Agile, you can use Agile process. So all these things. Okay, so let me explain this later. Okay, and then also you have a administrator for the particular project. So if you want to add any additional administrator users, you can add additional administrator users. And this project would like to use what are all the different services. You can enable and disable those services. Okay, so for now I'm enabling all services like boards. I enabled service like repositories, where you'll be managing all the files, and then pipelines, where you'll be creating all the pipelines, and then I'm enabling even artifacts and then test plans. Okay, and if you want to delete the project, you can delete the project. Okay, and then if you go to teams, so where you'll be managing the teams. Okay, let me add, basically here you can add your teams and then team members also. Let me create a new team here. Let me create a team called QA team. Okay, click create team. And within the QA team, if you click on QA team, you can add the users. So by default, my name is added. If you want to add additional users, you click on additional, you add, and then search for your users. So for now, I don't have any users except my name, right? So because I never added any users to the organization. Okay. So before you add any team members to your team, first we need to add users to the organization. So that's what I'm doing. I'm clicking on the organization and then go to organization settings, go to users. Then here you need to add the new users. Let's click on add new users and provide. Let me take one of my friends email ID. Okay, I want to use this particular user, and then basic access level I want to provide, and then I want to provide as a contributor. Okay, and click on add. So if you want to basically select the project, you can select the project also here itself. But now I don't want to select any project. Let's see. Okay, add the user. So what I'm doing, I'm adding a new user called this person. Okay, so now you go back to your project again now. Okay, so I'm going back to project and project settings. So here we were in teams module, right? In the teams module, we created a team called QA team. In this QA team, I want to add the person, the user just now added in the organization. Okay, so now there is a person called this guy in the organization. So I want to add this person to this particular project. Okay, select this and save changes and refresh. See, now in QA team there are two resources that has been added. So these two resources have access to this particular project. Done. Now let me, I think that's it. And then go to permissions. So within the permissions, so there are two level of permissions: groups level permission, user level permission. So let me explain user level permission. Okay, if I select this person, I can see that I have every permission. Like I can delete the project, I can edit the project level information, I can rename the team project, update the project visibility, I can create all the boards, I have access to analytics, I have access to test plans, create test runs, delete test runs, and everything. Okay, so let me go back to the user just now I added. Okay, if I see, permissions, user. So this person. So now, see, if you see here, you can manage permissions for every user. If the user need to have an access to lead the project, or if he needs to add the have access for analytics, boards, or test plans, so every access level you can provide to the users. Okay, that is the use of, and also the permissions can be provided on a groups level also. That means just now I created a group team called QA team, right? Within the QA team, if I provide permissions for this particular group, that means all these permissions will be applicable for all the team members who are available in this group called QA team, right? So that is the use of permissions. And then notifications. So in the notifications, basically it will show you all the notifications that has been set up. You can basically create new notifications also. If you see here, the default notifications, whenever there is a build complete, so you will have a build completed notification, right, to the team. And then whenever there is a pull and reviewers, pull request reviewers, or whenever there is a pull request changes, QA team will be notified. And also for any release activities, the QA team will be notified. So basically you can manage your notifications for the teams. Okay, I think within the project these things are important, but let me explain project configurations, team configurations, etc. with the practical examples. Okay. So before that, let me go back to organization and show you organization related settings. Okay. So as soon as you click on organization, you will have an option called organization settings. So within this, if you want to rename your organization, you can rename your organization. This is your URL to access your organization, right? And then you can basically add the owner of this particular organization. If you want to delete the organization, you can delete the organizations. And if you go to projects module, you can add the projects. So we created a project called e-commerce, and which will be using the process called basic. Okay. And then if you want to add any new projects, you can add new projects. And here users. So we just discussed, you can add any new users if you want to add to your new organization. And billing. So billing module is to manage entire billing. You can set up the billing. So currently I'm using the free version, basically free hours, whatever I have for my user ID. Okay. I think these are the basic modules that we need to see within the organization. So let me go back to project settings again. Okay. So if you go to project settings, the important part is the project configurations. If you click on project configurations, so here the project configurations, you can create your iterations or you can create your sprints. Okay. So now how can we create? Let me just rename this. First of all, let me rename this as a sprint to edit this. I'm creating an iteration called sprint 0. Okay. And then see, in our organization, we are following a process of 2 weeks of sprints. Let's assume. Okay. So the start date of the sprint is 7, and then my end date of the sprint is 30th. Okay. And then save and close. Done. Now, if you want to add another sprint, click on new child. Just type in sprint 1. Now, as soon as you click on start date, by default, the Azure DevOps is intelligent enough to basically provide you the date, which is the next day of your sprint 0. Okay. Just select that as it is. As soon as you select, the end date will be selected by Azure DevOps itself as a 2-week sprint, because I already added a sprint 0 with 2 weeks. So that's why it is automatically calculating your sprint length. Okay. Save it. Let me also create another sprint. Sprint 1. So as soon as you start it, see, the next day of your sprint, the next day of your sprint 2 has been selected here. As soon as you select, your end date will be selected after 2 weeks. That's it. So I created sprint 0, 1, sprint 2. If you want to basically create another sprint within the sprint, you click on the sprint and then click on new child. So this will create your sub sprints within the sprint. Okay. So this is the use of iterations. Okay. Within the project configurations. And you have areas also. That means you can define the areas of this particular project. These areas will be used by the teams to determine what shows up on the team's backlogs. Okay. So that means, so let's assume e-commerce. I want to create, basically we have multiple areas. Let's assume I have an area where I want to allocate my team members, which is registration area, for example. Okay, this is one area where our team members need to work. And let me also create another login. This is another area I want to allocate my team members. And shopping cart. Okay, that means shopping cart is another area I can create by another area. Okay, so these are all the different areas I can create. Okay, so that is the usage of the areas. And next, team configuration. So within the team configurations, if you go to general, okay, so basically this shows you the working days. Okay, so my organization working days are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So if you want to add Saturday as your working days, you can add. Okay, and then what is your backlog navigation? I want to manage both epics as well as issues, so I want to keep as it is. And what about iterations? So this is my iterations. So within the iterations, you can actually manage, you can add the iterations within the teams. Okay, so my team iterations, my project team iterations, let me add the iteration here. As soon as I click on add, so my first iteration will be sprint 0, save, and my select iteration will be sprint 1, second iteration, done, select third iteration as a sprint. Okay, I've selected all 3 iterations, and here if you see here, there is a default iteration. So I'm keeping default iteration as a current iteration. That means let's assume today is 7th November, right? So as soon as the date arrives 7th November, the current iteration will be taken as sprint 0. So once we reach the 21st November, the current iteration will be taken as by default sprint 1. So if you want to change this, you can change it. So basically you can make it as a default iteration as sprint 0, sprint 1, sprint 2. But I don't want to do that. I want to keep as a current iteration so that the iteration can be taken based on your date. Okay, that is done. And if you go to areas within the team configurations, you can add areas within the teams also. So whatever the areas we added earlier, right? So those areas you can select here. So I have area called login, I have area called registration, also having a team within the area shopping cart, right? That's how you can add the areas that are applicable for your team. Okay, and then templates. So right now I'm not going to explain templates. Okay, I think this is enough for the team configurations. Now let me go back to project settings again. Okay, so these are the project settings. So within the project settings, if you see here, so this is your process. Basically, whenever I create a project, by default it takes the process as a basic. So let me click on that. Let me explain you what are all the different processes that are available in Azure DevOps. Okay, so as soon as you click on the process, so if you see here, click all processes, so you can see there are different processes available in the Azure DevOps. One is basic, agile process, Scrum, CMMI level. So if you see basics, you have a work item types epics, issue, task, test case, test plan, test suite. Okay? So if you select a project as agile process, so you will have options of bug, epic, feature, issue, task, test case, test plan, test suite, and user stories. If you select project as Scrum, so you will have additionally product backlog instead of user story. So rest of them are same almost. In the same way, CMMI, it's a just normal CMMI level process. Basically waterfall, I can say. Bug, change request, epic, feature, issue, requirement, review, risk, and task. Okay. So these are all the different processes that are available in the organization. So in the DevOps. Okay. Let me go back again. Okay. So now how can we change the process of your project? Okay. Let me show it again. So I'm just selecting the project again and then project settings. Now I want to operate this particular project as a Scrum process. Okay, I want to follow a Scrum process. How can we change that? Okay, so as soon as you click on basic, so here there is an option called projects. Okay, if I go to projects, in this particular projects, I have an e-commerce project. Now I want to change the process of this particular project. So you select this option and click on change process, and now I want to change this process as a Scrum process because I will be using Scrum process. Okay, so as soon as you select, it gives you warning. By changing this, you must manually update your work items. Okay, because currently we did not create any work items, so we need not worry. You click on save. As soon as you click on save, your project will be converted to the process of Scrum. See, it's converted to process of Scrum. Close now, and then so if you go back to your project now, okay, it should show the project as the Scrum process. Okay, I'm just going back to project settings. So now if you see here, the process is showing as Scrum. Right, within the Scrum, you are having all these work item types. Okay, done. So now backlog levels. So if you click on backlog levels, it shows you entire hierarchy. So within the portfolio, if you want to maintain a backlog, a portfolio, you can write your epics, and those epics can be disintegrated to features. Okay, and then requirements. How can you manage the requirement backlog? The requirement backlog can be managed in Scrum as a backlog items, which is a product backlog item. Okay, and then iteration level backlogs. So iteration level backlogs can be managed by using tasks. And there are other items, other work items types, which is bug and impediments. Okay, so this is your Scrum process. And now I think that is it from the project settings. Okay, so now let me go back to your project again. Okay, go back to the project. So and then click on your project overview. Okay, now let's see the entire process of test management. Okay, so if you want to invite some people to this project, currently you can see in this project there are 2 members available. So you can invite additional people here, click on invite, and then search the members and then add, so that you can add the members in the here. And also from your project you can redirect to any service you want. If you want to redirect to test plans, click on test plans. You can directly redirect it to test plans. Okay, right. So now let me show the dashboards. Okay, so within the project, so you can create a different dashboards overviews. Okay, right now we don't have any items, that's why you don't see any dashboards. Okay, and wiki, if you go to wiki, here in the wiki you can basically entire team within the project should be on same page, right? To be on same page, you can share your thoughts, you can share your knowledge, you can share your training materials, you can also publish your code as a wiki. Okay, so this is the usage of the wiki. And now the important part became is boards. Okay, so within the boards you have work items where you'll be managing entire project related work items like bug, epics, features, product backlogs, and queries, etc. And boards. So within the boards, you'll be managing entire project lifecycle. And then you have backlogs where you'll be managing all the backlog items. And also you have sprints and queries. Okay, let me first explain backlogs. Okay, let me go to backlogs and then add some backlogs here. Okay, Okay. I'm going to backlogs. Then I want to add some backlogs. Okay. So this is my e-commerce. Okay. Now, so here I want to add some of the backlogs. So now first you need to add backlog. Okay, let me add a backlog here, new work item. As soon as you click on, let me show you. Basically now we have a limited time. I cannot type everything, so I already created my user stories, right, which can be recorded as backlog. Okay, I'm just copying all these things. So first we have a user story or a backlog item called login, where we need to basically test a login functionality. Okay, you just click on add to the top. So once you click on add to the top, the backlog item has been added, and click on this particular title. So once you click on title, you need to provide the description of your backlog item and what is your acceptance criteria. So let me just copy entire description of this particular backlog item. So log into e-commerce portal. We are actually testing a login functionality. Let's assume. Okay. And what is my acceptance criteria? So my acceptance criteria is I want to log into the e-commerce application so that I can view e-commerce homepage. Okay. I'm just correcting some of them. Okay. So this is my acceptance criteria. Let me copy acceptance criteria and paste it here. So what I'm saying, I want to log in e-commerce portal so that I can view e-commerce homepage, given I'm on e-commerce.com. Just assume it's your website. Okay. And then when I click on login button, I enter the email address, password, and then click on secure sign in. So that is my backlog item. Okay. And also you can provide your priority, because as without login you cannot test. I'm providing it as priority as 1, and you can provide the efforts. Okay. So let's say basically you will be collecting efforts from entire team, like from SMEs, BAs, development team, testing team. Okay, that effort you will be putting here. Let's assume 5 days. Okay, then just click save and close. Done. So let me add another backlog item. Okay. So my another backlog item is register to the registration. Actually, before login, first of all, the registration should come. But anyway, so this is my register to the e-commerce portal. I click on add, and now click on your title, and then add your description of your backlog item. So let's assume this is my description, and then my acceptance criteria. My acceptance criteria, I want to register. If you want to register, you need to click on register button and then enter your first name, last name, email address and password, confirm password, and then you should be able to register. And this is my effort days. Let's assume registration I'm putting priority as 2, and then my efforts might be like 6 days. Okay, and now you save and close. So let me add another work item. Okay, I want to add another work item where I'll be testing or I'll be building a shopping cart. Okay, my next backlog item is shopping cart. Add. Okay, click and then provide your description of your backlog item, and then this is my acceptance criteria. So you will have all the requirements from your SMEs. Okay, so you just need to put those requirements here. And then priority is 2. Let me put deferred days as 10 here. Okay, so now, so here the backlog item order. So first you will be registering. So you just drag and drop here. Okay, I'm changing the order of the backlogs. And then login and then shopping cart. This is my order. And here, if you see here, I can see within this backlog right view, I can see only sprint 0. I want to add all the sprints. Let me add another new sprint. See, if I go here, I want to add sprint 1 also, create, and then I want to create new sprint, which is sprint 2. Automatically it is taking sprint 2. Okay, keep here, because so what we can do, if you want to, currently all these 3 backlogs, whatever we added, has been added to your current sprint. What is current sprint? Which is sprint 0, because the date of the current date is actually matching your sprint 0. Okay, so if you want to move any backlog item to sprint 1, what do you do? Just let's assume shopping cart I want to move to the sprint 1. Just drag and drop here. See, sprint 1 has 1 backlog item. Sprint 0 has 2 backlogs. Let's say I want to drag this also to sprint. So now it become 1 and become 2. Okay, so I want to put it back all these sprints to sprint 0, all the backlogs to sprint 0. So if you see, all the sprints are now in sprint 0. So this is a backlogs. Okay, now let me go to boards. I think you understand, right? So now let me go to boards. How can we use boards? So if you go to boards, so whatever the backlog items we added in backlogs module, so that will be shown here, okay, by default. Now, so within the boards, if you want to add test cases, you can add test cases to your backlog items from boards itself. That is best use in the Azure DevOps. Okay, because the test plans module, we does not have access for the free users. Basically, you need to basically additionally purchase this particular module. Let me explain that later. Okay, so now if you want to add test cases from your boards, you can add the test cases. How? You just click on this option and then click on add test. Okay, so first let me add a test case for your registration. Okay, click add test. Okay, let me name it as registration. Okay, so now this is my title of the test case. Okay, click on this title, and I have already wrote the test cases for registration. I'm gonna just copy that particular test case. Okay, so this is my test case title. Okay, and then steps here. So you just need to add the test steps. So as soon as you click on first row, it creates you one row. Okay, so my first step is navigate to the e-commerce portal. Done. What is my expected result? My expected result is e-commerce portal should open. Second step, click here to type add a step. Okay, so this is my second step. Click on register button, and this is my expected result. And then third step, you will be entering your first name, and this should be successful. And fourth step, as soon as you enter the first name, you will be entering your last name also. And then it should be again, it should be successful. I'm just entering so that it will be easy for us to maintain the email address, and then your expected result will be the operation should be successful. So as soon as you enter the email address, you'll be entering the password. The password, and it should be successful. Okay, and then skip this. So click on secure login. And what is your expected result? A message that you are registered. A message should be displayed that you are registered. Okay, this is my test case. So now within this test case, I think we added everything. If you want to add a summary, you can add summary also. Okay. Now just save and close. So as soon as save and close, so if you see here, you have added one test case for your backlog item, first backlog. So let me add another test case. Basically, I want to add a test case for login backlog also. Okay, this is my backlog. So my backlog. This login functionality is my test case. Okay, click here, add test login functionality, and click on your title. Now let me add the steps for login functionality. Test login functionality. This is your expected result. Enter email address. So as soon as you enter email address, the operation should be successful. And then you will be entering your password, and then you will be clicking on login button. Okay, so that will be last step. So as soon as you click on sign in button, second sign in button, it should be redirected to home page. Okay, this is my another test case. Save and close. Okay, now I added another test case here. Now let's assume. So if you see your dashboard, you have three different columns like new, approved, commented, done. So if you want to change this dashboard, right? So you can just go to dashboard columns. If you want to change, you can change these dashboard columns. Like what? Let me show you. Okay? I want to change these columns. I want to add a column called, let's say, analyze. Let's assume I want to maintain the columns like what? Analyze, save. So as soon as I add analyze, see, I can see it has been renamed as analyze. So let me just go back here again. Let me show you. Go to columns. So I want to change this back to new. Okay, new item. And it should be there. Let me change this back to new. Okay. So now here I want to add a new column. So if you want to add a new column, click on column, analyze. Once the new item is there, I want to analyze this particular item. And then, so what is the state that you want to select? So I want to select the state as new only, okay, for analyze also, okay. And then save, okay. So you have analyze column now. I want to add the next column. So I want to add another column. After you analyze, now I want to have a column called develop, and the state, whenever I change the state as approved, it should go to develop column. Okay, done. So let me adjust the as soon as I created, right, let me adjust everything. Okay, so if I want to, because analysis first before development. Okay, moving this to left. Okay, I moved analysis to left and then development. Let me add another string. I want to keep this state as same as approved only. Okay, save and close. So let me add another column called thing that is there. Let me move this to right side. Move right and then move right. Okay. Analyze, develop, testing, and let me rename this as done. And we already have done. So that means let me remove this. I don't want this. Testing, committed, done. Okay, I can keep all these. Okay, save it. Analyze, develop, testing, committed, done. So now, so what is the use of this? So as soon as, so let's assume now this work item, right? This work item is, let's assume this is a new item. Now the analysis of this work item is going on. So you need to, what you need to do is you have to drag and drop your item analysis. So as soon as you drag and drop, see here, so you drag and drop here. So and then if as soon as you drag and drop to develop, so your state changed to approved because I selected the state as approved. Or you can put here approved and automatically goes to develop. Okay, and once the development is done, you can move this log to testing, right? So once this particular work item or the backlog item is ready for testing, what you need to do, you have to run the test case, right? How can we run the test case from dashboard? So you just expand this. This is my test case. So let me show you test case whatever we added here. Okay, so you are registering a user. Okay, let me close this. Let me run this. You click on this dot button and then click on run test. As soon as you click on run test, the pop-up window will be opened and then you will have all the steps whatever we defined in the test case. So what you do? So first step, you'll be going to your portal. You'll be opening your portal, right? And you'll be performing the steps whatever that has been defined here. Okay, if it is working fine, you pass this step. Second step passed. Third step passed. And also there are different options within this. You can actually capture the screenshots. You can capture the screenshot of the user actions. You can take a video also. Okay, you can record the screen also. Okay, while testing. Okay, and then I want to pass all these. Let's assume I want to pass all the tests. Okay, you can also at a time you can pass everything. Okay, and then save and close. So as soon as you save and close, so let me just refresh this dashboard. If you see here, you have one test which is passed and the symbol in front of your test case is showing as passed. Okay, the same way you can add any number of test cases that you want to add. Okay, let's assume I have a login. Okay, now let's assume this also ready for test. Okay, so now when I run this particular test case, now let's assume this particular test case is failed. Okay, so now this is passed. I'm able to enter the email. I'm able to enter the password. As soon as I click on login, let's assume you're not able to log in. You are getting some error message. Okay, I'm failing this. Enter unable to log in e-commerce portal getting error message. Page error form. Let's assume. Okay. You can capture the screenshot and then attach the screenshot also. Okay. You can add the attachment also. If you want to add attachment, you can add that. So now save this. So because I failed one of the test case, your entire test will be failed. See here, your entire test will be failed. So this will be reflected. Let me refresh this dashboard again. So if you see, your second backlog item associated with one test case that has been failed. Right? Okay. Let me again go back to. So this is how you can maintain your boards. Okay. Let me go back to backlogs again. Let me go back to work items. Let me go back to work items. Okay. So if you see work items, right? So now, because if you see work items, whatever the backlog items we created, I can see all those 3 backlog items, and I created one test cases for registration, right? And I created one test case for login. If I click on this here, you can see here. So this particular test case, the register test case is associated with what? This is associated with the backlog item called register to the e-commerce portal, right? So now, because one of the test cases related to login has been failed, I have to raise a defect now. Okay. So if I want to raise a defect, let me go back to work items and then select new work item and click on bug. Okay. Now I want to raise the defect. So let me, because I already entered everything, so I want to just copy and paste so that I can save some time. Okay guys. So this is my defect title. I want to put cannot log in the portal. Okay. Cannot log in e-commerce portal registration. Here, what are the steps to reproduce? So these are all my steps to reproduce. I want to copy, and this is my expected and actual result, right? And then if you want to add any attachments, you can add attachments also. Okay. And now, so I can, because I'm not able to log in, this will be very priority issue to be fixed, and also the severity will be very high because I'm not able to log in and test anything. Okay. And now you can link this defect. How? Related work item. So I can select existing item. Okay. And now you just need to select the test case corresponding to this particular bug. So this test case, this particular bug is related to test case called login, right? You select that login and then click OK. That means I have linked my defect with the test case. And then save. I think we entered everything, okay? And also you can just put acceptance criteria. User should be able to log in. That means we are actually setting up acceptance criteria for the developer after fixing the bug. Okay, click on save. So if you go back again, so if you see the backlog, now you have all the work items. Work items. You have work item called bug also. Okay, go back to your boards again. Okay, so if you see here, so this is fine. So everything we explained here, and then I think that's the usage of the backlogs also. Okay, so you can also add your your work items. So you can also add epics, features, whatever you want to add. Okay, now sprints. If I click on sprint, so if I see my current sprint is by default selected as 0 because of the day. Okay, so because all the three backlog items are mapped to sprint 0, that's why it is showing everything. Okay, let me move one backlog item because we don't have any test case here. I want to move this particular backlog item to sprint 1. Okay, if I go back to sprints again, if you see sprint 0, now it is showing only 2. So if you want to select sprint 1, in select sprint 1, it shows that backlog item we just moved. Okay, go to sprint 0. Okay, so within the sprint, let's say this is my sprint 0. Now within the sprint, what we'll do? Okay, this is my backlog item. So this backlog item will be allocated to the different groups like SME, developer, and testers. Okay, let's assume. So each and every team member will be creating a to-do list here. Okay, so let me create a new item. So let's assume I'm a development team. Okay, dev team, complete coding and perform unit testing. Okay, so I created that task. Okay, the task called dev team. So this in the same way. Okay, let me just click on this. Okay, now here development and sprint means it's basically 2 weeks of sprint. Let's assume. Okay, week 1 complete coding, week 2 complete unit testing. So what you will do? So the developer will actually select the corresponding test cases for him to test. Okay, existing item, you can select the test case of, let's assume this is a coding, right? Okay, I want to select a login. Okay, this is my test case. I want to link. Oh, sorry, not this one. Let me just go back again. So this is by registration. Okay, just click here again. So now you can just link his existing test case or registration. So my test case, okay, then click OK and save. So before save, you can provide any like remaining work items. So basically remaining work. What is the remaining work? Do I have 8 hours of work? So let's say 8 hours of work. Okay, and save and close. So it shows your 8 hours of work. And then what tester will do? Again, he will take against this work item. I have to create my own task. Perform functional testing. Sorry, perform testing of registration. Okay. Let's assume week 1. I want to concentrate on perform functional testing. Week 2, automate test cases. Let's assume okay. My remaining work, let's say 16 hours. Okay, and now I want to actually add all the test cases that are applicable for this. So I can add all the test cases related to registration. Right? I have added test case that related to registration. So this is my task. So this is how every team will be adding their corresponding task against this backlog item. So as soon as this task is completed, let's assume this task is in progress. For example, to do. This is my to do task. Now if I want to move it to in progress, so by default this will be changed. The task will be changed to in progress. Once it is completed, I need to move it to done. So that it moves to done. Okay. Even development team can move into in progress and then they can move it as done. The status automatically changes. Okay, so very flexible sprint dashboards. Okay, so this is about sprints. Let me explain about test plans. Okay, so basically the test cases whatever we created using boards, that can also be done. So let me also show you here in the boards also. So if you want to assign this particular work item, right? So if you want to assign this particular work item or this particular task, you can assign here actually. See, you can assign resource here. Every task can be assigned. Okay. Now, so what are the test cases we created and then we ran the test cases, right? You can do all these in test plans also, but test plan has additional features. So currently, because I'm not actually what I can say I don't have privileges, so I will not have that particular capability to run the test cases from test plans. But however, so this is your test plan. Basically, in the test plan, you can pull your backlog items and then you can actually create the test plans within the backlog item, and then you can create test suits also. Okay, and then you will have a run options here. You can run as web, you can run on web applications, you can run on desktop applications. Currently you don't have this. Okay, and then if you see here charts, if you go to charts, right, you can create the reports also. So in dashboards you cannot create the reports of the test results. Okay, let's assume I want to create a report here. Okay, I want to create a pie chart based on the outcome. I think we failed a login, right? We failed one test case in the log. Okay, let's assume if I want to create another chart, some other like bar chart. So let's assume I'm based on the same thing. Okay, this is my bar chart. In the same way, for registration also, if I want to, the test cases related to registration, I can create the same pie charts. This is passed, my test is passed actually, right? And also you can create the chart on the overall sprint level. Okay, so let's show you now. If I create overall sprint level, okay, see here, one test case related to login has been failed, one test case related to registration has been passed, right? And then you can even create bar chart or column chart also. See, you have a column chart here. So this is how you can create a different chart of your execution. So in the test plans, basically you can create test plans and then you can build a test suits, and then from here itself you can run the test cases. In the same way we run in boards also. So because it is actually we need to purchase, I'm not able to show you all these things, but for basic purpose the boards are enough for us to actually create the test cases and run the test cases. So that is the advantage of DevOps. I think you understand about sprints, you understand about also these things, right? The test plans. I think this is overall test management. How can we create boards? How can we create work items? How can we create backlogs? How can we manage sprints? How can we run test cases from the boards? How can we create test cases from boards? How can you link test cases to your defects? Hope you understand, or you hope you got a basic understanding of Azure DevOps test management. Thanks for listening.